What is going on, guys? It is Daniel Wright, and you are here listening to another episode of Paving the Way. Guys, I'm Daniel Wright, your host, and I already said that. I'm all jumbled up, but hey, it's Wednesday. We're rocking and rolling. My brain's obviously going a little bit faster than my mouth is, and we're here. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been running, like I said, fast as crap lately. It is that time of year, like we talked about last week, Q4 and more, where we are running and running and running. So it's been a fun week so far. Doing a little experiment with my time this week. So that's probably part of the reason why my brain is not exactly moving in sync with my mouth right now. But nonetheless, we are rocking and rolling. Guys, I had a conversation with a good buddy of mine recently, just about kind of some business growth, some hiring stuff, business development, sales, so on and so forth. And one of the topics that kind of came up is about, never feeling ready, whether it's ready, parents say that, well, we'll have kids when we're ready. Like, well, you'll never be ready. Or they say, we'll buy the house when we're ready, or whatever it may be. You're never going to feel ready for any major thing in your life. And so as we're going through, Q4, as we've already talked about, as we're planning for 2025, as we're looking at these next steps that we're taking in life, in business, in leadership, whatever it may be, there's a few topics that I want to cover when it comes to not feeling ready. So there's going to be, things such as, you got to make sure you know where you're trying to get, that, what you need to get there, and that you got to know how you're measuring those things, right? So I got a few points to hit today. With all that being said, let's get started. All right, guys, welcome back. Hey, I'm just going to go ahead real quick and call a spade a spade. That intro I just gave y'all was absolute dog crap. So if you are still listening right now, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for bearing with me. Got a little tongue-tied and had no idea what the heck I was saying there for a minute. So, but hey, I took those, 21 seconds or so from the badass intro video that we got here and got my thoughts, together for you guys, and we'll rock and roll with it. So, guys, like I said a second ago, I'm doing a little experiment this week with my time. I've kind of done it in spurts before. I know I've had a couple people who work in the company and on our team that I've had them do it for various reasons, but it's really about like time management, right? We always hear ourselves say or hear others say, I'm just so busy, or I don't have enough time for this. Or what I've been saying lately is if only there was 28 hours in the day, I would be able to get it all done. And what I've always encouraged others to do when they say that they don't have enough time or they feel overwhelmed is basically track your time, right? So at work, we've had people do it from the time that you come in to work to the time that you go home from work. Track what you're doing. I don't need you to write down, blew my nose for 30 seconds or crap like that. But if you get up from your desk and you go walk around, chat with people, use the restroom, whatever it is, document that time. Because there's some people who they do that every freaking 10 minutes. And next thing you know, they're doing it 20 times a day. And, 5 minutes times 20, well, there's 100 minutes of your day. So we document our time. We see what we're doing, where all that time goes. It's a common thing. I just had somebody else tell me today, man, I just feel so busy. I just feel like the time's, just disappearing from me. And so on Monday this week, I decided to go ahead and do this experiment, not just for at work, but from the time I wake up to the time I, more or less sit down on the couch at night and fall asleep. Because anybody who knows me, that's my MO. As my grandpa says, once I go horizontal, I'm over. I'm done. I'm sleeping. So, but it's been interesting. Like on Monday, I just realized, I have a long list, and I'm keeping it on my notes app on my phone. So I keep the app pulled up so it stays front of mind to keep documenting my blocks of time. And it's more or less when I switch from one task to another is when I document the time. So like when I get done with the podcast today, I'll document it on my phone and say, podcast from, start time to end time. And that's what I did. And then from there, it'll be, leave office to go to dinner or whatever it might be. And I looked through my list from Monday and I was like, holy crap. Like, literally from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, like there was no time, right? The only thing that could even be like, relatively close to not having anything on that schedule was more or less when I got home from work around 6:30 or so, 6:45. Kelsey and I made dinner. We ate dinner and cleaned up dinner. That was about the only chill time. And then by that time, it was about 8:30 or so after I showered and got on the couch, and I was pretty much out after that. So it's like from 5:15 a.m. till about, 6:45 when it was time for dinner, when we were cooking dinner. It was just going constantly, whether it was driving from one place to another, doing a site visit, meeting with somebody, doing estimates, emails, helping people in the office, answering phone calls, whatever it was. I was like, holy shit, I guess I'm not actually that lazy. The reason I need 28 hours is because I actually need 28 hours. But maybe that's not the case, right? Maybe I need someone to help me with some things. Maybe I need to add more people to the team. Maybe, just maybe, there's other ways to build time into the day other than try to find 28 hours. And so that leads me into the conversation today of you'll never feel ready, right? So at our company this year, we've been operating with I don't want to say a skeleton crew by any means, but we've definitely figured out how efficient and how effective our team members can be. We've had the experience before where we put a lot of humans with heartbeats into positions, and we think, oh, we just need to hire more people to get more things done. What we've realized this year is actually with a thinner crew of dedicated individuals that are highly trained and skilled, we can actually accomplish a whole lot more. However, that can only scale so far, right? People, we've talked about it before, people can only scale so far. Systems scale, people don't. So this year, we've been able to focus on building out and fine-tuning all of our systems, all of our processes, all of our training material, our onboarding, our online learning platform, so on and so forth. However, there still needs to be the opportunity to bring on more people. Now, whether those more people is in the operations department, the sales department, marketing, whatever it may be, it all varies, right? For us in particular, our next big move is going to be in our sales department. And so I was talking with a good buddy of mine about hiring and bringing people on, and what are reasons why some companies hold back, some companies just go for it, whatever it was. But the common theme that came up is that a lot of times, small business owners, especially kind of like myself, they tend to feel like, they make a lot of decisions or lack of decisions based off of feelings. Well, it just doesn't feel right. I don't feel like we're ready. I don't feel like it's the right time. I don't feel like the cash flow is there. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that. As we've talked about before, guys, the business doesn't give a shit about our feelings, right? Your life and the things that you were set on this earth to do doesn't actually care about you and your feelings. It cares about whether or not you achieve results. And so with that being said, any major thing in life that you're feeling called to do, right? Like there's a feeling, you're saying like, man, something's got to change. Right. My feeling lately has been I need 24 hours in the day. I need 28 hours in the day because 24 is not enough. So there's that feeling, that internal feeling. But then when I think about, I just need to go hire people. I'm like, I don't know if we're ready for that. I don't know if we got this. I don't know if that's ready. I don't know if the training's set up. I don't know if the onboarding's set up, whatever it may be. So there's always going to be those feelings of things. But nonetheless, there's a few points that I can get into about what to do when you don't feel ready, right? Because let's face it, I have made a lot of decisions and made a lot of moves in the course of our business, in the course of leadership over the last 8 years within just Proline. That doesn't include the other things I've done, prior to Proline, but I've made a lot of things happen when I don't feel ready. And oftentimes I've found that when you don't feel ready, but you feel like something needs to change, is probably the time where you need to make some moves and make them quick. So when you don't feel ready to make that move, whatever it may be for you, the first thing that you need to do is you need to establish a clear objective, right? So for me, and I'm just going to keep using myself as an example here because it's the easiest thing to do. I've been saying I need 28 hours in the day. Right. So the objective is to try and get back some of my time because I don't have enough of it in the day. So the clear objective here is how am I going to be able to get some of my time back? That's the clear objective. What are things that I'm doing throughout my day that I could then have somebody else do? If I were to hire somebody, what could I have them do out of my day? Because I don't have enough time to get it all done. So there's the strategic goal to it, right? The strategic goal is, okay, the objective is I need 28 hours in a day. So I'm trying to find 4 more hours in my day. So strategically is, well, what I could do is I need somebody to do that. Okay, well, another person can help me get these things done. Believe it or not, guys, there's people out there who want to help you win. Okay, because if you win, then they win. Everybody's winning. Lots of winning going on. But the strategic goal is, all right, we need another person to help me get this done. The tactical part of it is, what specifically are they going to do? Right? If you recall, I said on my Monday when I was tracking my time, a lot of my time was spent driving to sites, visiting with clients, going over scopes of work, assessing properties, putting numbers together, estimates together, so on and so forth. Well, I would be willing to bet if I was to pull the report on my Monday time usage, there was around 4 hours of my time spent driving to sites and or assessing sites. So could I tactically hire someone to do the assessments on the sites? Could that get me that 4 hours back for that day right there? Maybe. So as I go through that side of it, right, I have the strategic part of it of we're going to hire somebody in to help get this done. The tactical side of it, what specifically are they going to do? And then I got to make sure that I have clear measurables set to see, is this move worth it, right? When I look back on this after 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it may be, did the decision I make, was it worth it? Did it make it happen? Did I achieve what I was trying to achieve, which is the clear objective, which is gain 4 more hours back in my days, right? So from there, you want to convey that objective and method to others around you. Now, some people say, well, make your moves in silence, show them the results in public, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. All right. But there's also something to be said about making sure that you're not making lunatic decisions, that you're not just being ridiculous and shooting off the hip and hoping for the best and then end up destroying everything in your path. So at our company, we have a leadership team that we meet every Wednesday. And then I also have a handful of peers that I talk to on probably about a weekly or so basis. A lot of times I'd tend to run my ideas, run my decisions, run my plans by those individuals just to make sure that they're not going to catch anything that I'm missing. Because if they can catch those and they can save me some grief, save me some money, save me some heartache, some pain, whatever it may be, then I'm going to be extremely grateful for that. Because ultimately, I would just have wasted time, wasted energy, wasted effort. So you want to convey that objective and method to those around you. Objective, Daniel needs to get more time in the day. Okay, the method, we're going to be hiring somebody in to help do this. And then in that hiring, here's what they're going to be doing. Here's how we're going to see if it's worth it or not. So you convey that to those around you and make sure that it makes sense. If they're all like, yeah, absolutely, makes perfect sense, you're on board with it. Because let's face it, if I'm the one making the decision for an objective I'm trying to accomplish, there is going to be a side of emotion behind those decisions. I feel stressed. I feel tired. I feel overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I need 4 hours back in my day. I need to have more time to do X, Y, Z. I just need to hire this person. Well, the other people who I'm telling about this, they aren't emotional about it. It's pretty black and white to them. Yep, Daniel, you're running around like freaking crazy. You need more time in your day. I think hiring someone and having them do these things would be very beneficial to you. It's a non-emotional opinion, not emotional perspective. So you can get that from them and make sure that you don't have any holes in your plan. Oftentimes the biggest holes in the plans come from emotional decisions because we just want to act. We want to make it happen. We want to get rid of the pain that we're feeling to try and accomplish the objective we're seeking. And so if we make sure that the people around us can make sure that we are making sense in what we're trying to do, as well as make sure there's not any holes in our plan, then we move on to the third and final step, which is pull the trigger, make it happen. So you got to just put the plan into motion because no great thing was ever built on ideas. It was built on actions, right? No major progress was built on just talking about what you might be able to do or what you could accomplish or what you should do. It was built on making things happen. It was built on pulling the trigger and just putting things into motion. You previously set the measurables, right? So earlier, it was the example of how much time is Daniel gaining back in his day if he hires someone strategically to tactically do the site visits and estimates and meet with the clients and so on and so forth. And if we're watching those measurables and all of a sudden I start watching it back and I have more time to build relationships within my company. I have more time to build business development with our clients. I have more time to work on marketing strategies. I have more time to do these other things that the CEO of a company should and would like to be doing. Then yes, the measurables are being hit. We're on track. If for some reason we're not hitting those measurables, if we're not tracking on those things, then you just need to make the adjustments as needed and keep moving. The most important part of this, guys, is to keep moving, right? I believe it's what is it? Something in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by an outside force. Oftentimes, guys, we're the ones who are the outside force that stop the progress, that stop the momentum that we have rolling. So keep the progress going. If you have the clear objective, if you have the clear strategy, you have the clear tactics, and you have the clear measurables, guys, keep moving. Don't give up on it. Don't quit on it when it gets hard. Don't second guess yourself. Have buyer's remorse, because at the end of the day, we can second guess ourselves to death. And it just doesn't get us anywhere. We make no progress. We keep running on this treadmill. We keep spinning our wheels, and we can't figure out why we're not moving ahead. So, guys, like I said, at the end of the day, any big decision that you're going to make in your life, in your business, in your leadership journey, you will never feel ready. And those decisions and those results don't actually care how you feel. They care about what you do. So, as somebody who needs to take my own advice and make some decisions and make some things happen in our business, because I have people counting on me, I encourage you to look at yourself, your business, your position, your life, your family, whatever it may be, and see what things do you need to just pull the trigger on. What things do you need to clarify what you're trying to achieve, how you're going to achieve it, make sure you don't have any holes in the plan, and pull the trigger. Because I can promise you, there's a really solid chance that you are holding back on your potential, that you're trying to play it safe, that you're trying to take it easy, you're trying to not get hurt, to not take a risk, not take a chance. And if you want an average life, if you want something that you're not going to be proud of when the day comes that your life is over, then keep doing that. But if you want to make a difference, if you want to have something to be proud of, if you want to have something for your kids, your team, your family, your friends, whoever it may be, to talk about in a positive light, when you're dead and gone, you have to make decisions. You have to do things even when you don't feel like it. Okay, I can't stress it enough. The results that we achieve in life, the things that we accomplish, don't care about how we feel. They care about what we do, because that's the only thing that matters. So, guys, obviously, I'm a little fired up about this today. This is a topic that's front of mind for me. It's fun as heck to be talking about this stuff, because, like I tell you guys, these things I speak about on here, it's selfishly, it's to document our journey, right? Because one day, God willing, then I'm old and I look back on this stuff, I'm going to be like, man, back in, the end of 2024, Daniel was freaking fired up. He thought that was a big thing he was going through. Little did he know what was coming next year, right? But it's fun, man, because this stuff, it holds me accountable, because I know that there's more of you out there listening to this than what you're commenting and liking and sharing this about. But nonetheless, I know that there's people who watch this. I know there's people who look up to this. I know there's people who resonate with it. And if I'm not living out the things that I'm talking to you guys about on here, then I'd be a fraud. I'd be an imposter. And we don't want that. So getting up here and talking about this stuff with you guys definitely holds me accountable. Hopefully it holds you accountable. If you're going to benefit from this, or if you know somebody who would benefit from this, all I ask is you just share it with them. Send them over to it. Drop their name in a comment, tag them in it, something like that. Because ultimately, guys, I just want to help other people win. I want to help other people. I want to pave the way for their success, their victories, and their lives through the experiences that I'm going through. So, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you sticking through my ramble there at the beginning of this show. I don't know what the heck was going on there, but nonetheless, we made it through. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Find some decisions that you need to make regardless of how you feel, and we will see you next week. Take care.